Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. Okay, so right now we're in lesson 2, chapter 4, which is chemical bonding. And in this lesson, we're going to cover two subtopics, which are the Lewis structure and also the formal charge of the element in the Lewis structure. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, okay, you should be able to draw the Lewis structure of a covalent species with either a single, double, and also a triple bond. The second learning outcome is you should be able to determine or calculate the formal charge and the most plausible structure from the formal charge. Okay, so we're going to start with the Lewis structure. Okay, Lewis structure is basically a structure or structure to represent the covalent species. Okay, so in order to visualizing a molecule, so macam mana bentuk molekul tu dalam space, we need to convert the molecular formula to the Lewis structure. Sebab kalau awak hanya depend on the molecular formula of the compound, so for example for glucose, okay, glucose have the molecular formula of C6H12O6. From the molecular formula ni, awak takkan tahu macam mana bonding dia. Double bond ke, single bond ke, dia bond antara elemen apa dengan elemen apa, kita tak boleh tahu. So in order to visualize the shape of the molecule, okay, we need to convert the molecular formula into the Lewis structure. Okay, dan kita akan ada few step lah yang awak kena follow in order to draw the Lewis structure. Okay, the Lewis structure, first it must include the symbol of the element. Mestilah sebab awak nak lukis structure of the molecule, mesti kita kena tahu macam dia ada elemen apa. So that's why the first we need to have the symbol of the element. Okay, and then the bonding pair electron we represent by using lines. Yang macam kita belajar waktu lesson sebelum ni. So one line represent single bond, two line represent double bond, and three line represent the triple bond. Okay, and also we need to draw the lone pair electron that fill each atom valence shell as a pair of dot. Maknanya dalam Lewis structure ni, awak kena ingat, kita kena ada symbol of the element, kita kena ada bonding pair, dan bonding pair tu mesti dilukis dalam bentuk line, dan kita mesti tulis dia punya lone pair, dan the lone pair itu kita mesti lukis dalam bentuk dot. Okay, so basically there are four main step yang you need to follow in order to draw, in order to produce the Lewis structure from any given molecular formula. Okay, so the first step is you need to determine the central atom. Okay, the central atom that normally is element that is more electropositive. So element yang lagi electropositive dia akan jadi central atom. Okay, so the second step is you need to calculate the total number of valence electron. Okay, and if the electron if the molecule is a neutral molecule, awak tak perlu buat apa-apa, just calculate the total number of valence electron for each element in the molecule. However, for a negative ion, okay, we know that negative ion will form when the atom or the molecule gain one electron. Okay, gain electron. So if you nak ada negative ion, waktu awak kira total valence electron itu, awak kena tambahkan satu for each negative charge. Untuk positive ion, awak kena tolak satu for each positive charge. So kita akan tengoklah lepas ni waktu kita buat example. Okay, and the third step, you need to draw a single bond first between the central and terminal atom. And then the last step, we need to distribute the remaining electron, okay, into the terminal atom until each terminal atom achieve octet configuration. Okay, so ada 4 step. Determine central atom, calculate total valence electron, draw single bond between the terminal and central atom. Last one, to distribute the remaining electron to the terminal atom until dia akan dapat octet. Semua octet kecuali hydrogen. Okay, so kita tengok example pertama, which is NF3. Okay, so between nitrogen and fluorine, okay, between nitrogen and fluorine, nitrogen is more electropositive compared to fluorine. So maknanya for this molecule, the nitrogen will become the central atom. Okay, so cara nak lukis dia punya Lewis structure, okay, and then dah determine siapa central atom, we need to calculate the total valence electron. So the total valence electron. Okay, nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is located in group 15. That means nitrogen will have 5 valence electron. Okay, fluorine. Fluorine is an element from group 17. That means fluorine have 7 valence electron. However, in this molecule, we have 3 fluorine. So, we need to multiply the 7 by 3. Okay, since NF3 is the neutral molecule, awak tak perlu tambah ataupun tolak sebarang elektron. So, if you calculate, the total valence electron is equals to 26 electron. Okay, now, you already calculate total valence electron and we know that the nitrogen is the central atom. Kita susun the rough shape of the molecule. So we know that nitrogen is the central atom and then fluorine will become the fluorine atom. Okay, and then the next step, awak kena draw a single bond between the terminal and central atom. So draw single bond, single. Okay, so dah lukis single bond, kita boleh tolak elektron yang kita dah guna tu daripada total valence electron. Awak kena ingat, satu line ataupun satu bond bersamaan dengan 2 elektron. So, kita dah guna 1, 2, 3. So, 3 lines equals to 6 electron. So, that means the total valence electron we minus 6, kita akan dapat remaining 20 electron. Okay, once awak dah draw a single bond between the between the terminal and central atom, the remainder 20 electron ni kita kena isikan dekat setiap terminal atom tu until terminal atom itu dapat octet. Octet maknanya ada total 8 elektron. So awak tengok fluorine ini already have 2 electron. So it need another 6 electron to achieve octet. So we draw 6 electron. Okay, 6. Same goes with this fluorine and also this fluorine. Okay, so from the 20 electron, we already use 18 electron. Sebab apa 18 electron? Sebab kita dah guna 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, so kalau awak tengok kita ada baki lagi 2 electron. Tapi setiap terminal atom tu kita dah cukup octet. So dekat mana kita nak letak baki ni? So yang baki ini, kalau ada reminder after awak octet ke terminal atom, the reminder of the electron we need to put at the central atom. So kita akan draw dekat central atom 2 electron. Okay, so kena ingat, any electron that located between the two element atau 2 atom, we call it as a bonding pair electron. Okay, any electron that does not involve in the bonding, we call it as the lone pair electron. Okay, so inilah dia. So senang saja nak lukis Lewis structure. Awak just follow itu sahaja step yang diberi. So and then nak tahu Lewis structure awak tu betul atau tidak, awak kena make sure each element itu adalah octet. Okay, so nitrogen ini dari 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 electron, that means the octet. This fluorine is 2, 4, 6, 8. So each of the fluorine have 8 electron. That means they already achieve stable octet electronic configuration. So kalau semua dah octet, maknanya your Lewis structure is the correct one. So ini adalah yang betul. Okay, example 2. Okay, we try to draw for HCN. So the first step, we need to determine the central atom. So if you look at the periodic table, you can see that the carbon will become the central atom because the carbon is more electropositive. Okay, so next we calculate the total valence electron. So total valence electron, okay, hydrogen only have 1 valence electron, carbon will have 4, nitrogen will have 5. So the total valence electron is equals to 10 electron. Okay, so we draw the approximate shape of the molecule. Okay, and then we draw a single bond between the terminal and also the central atom. So you already use 2 line, you already draw 2 line, that means kita dah guna 4 electron. So minus 4 electron, so we have a remainder of 6. Okay, remember that hydrogen only need to achieve duplet to become to achieve a stable duplet electronic configuration. So kalau awak tengok hidrogen ini dah ada 2 elektron. So tak perlu tambah elektron dekat hidrogen. Tapi nitrogen baru ada 2. So remember that the remainder of the electron we need to distribute to the terminal atom. Terminal atom. So kita akan octetkan terminal atom. So now the nitrogen is already octet. Sebab kalau awak tengok nitrogen dah ada 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons. Okay, hydrogen dah ada 2, so dia dah memang duplet. Okay, tapi kalau awak tengok carbon ini belum octet lagi. Sebab carbon ini baru hanya ada 2, 4 electron. Okay, remember that carbon need to have 8 in order to achieve octet. Okay, so macam mana nak buat? Okay, so awak ambil 1 pair electron daripada nitrogen ni, awak pindahkan, jadikan bond between carbon, nitrogen. So dia akan jadi, sebab sekarang ni kat tengah tu antara carbon dan nitrogen dah ada 4 pair. So dia akan jadi double bond. Okay, so kita check dah octet belum? Okay, kita check. So kita tengok nitrogen ni dah octet, tapi carbon ni baru ada 6 electron. So carbon still does not achieve stable octet. So what you can do, you transfer another 2 electron from the lone pair of nitrogen. We transfer another 2. So dia akan jadi triple bond. So H, C, triple bond, N. So ada baki lagi 2 elektron dekat nitrogen. Okay, so kita check dah octet belum semua. Okay, so hydrogen dah duplet. Okay, carbon dah 2, 4, 6, 8. So now the carbon is already achieve octet configuration. Okay, nitrogen we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So nitrogen also already achieve octet. So this is the stable ataupun this is the correct Lewis structure for HCN. So awak kena make sure setiap central atom dan terminal atom tu masih octet kecuali hydrogen. Okay, so example 3 we try to do for NH4+. Okay, ammonium ion. So macam biasa, first we need to determine the central atom. So if you look at the periodic table, the nitrogen will become the central atom. Okay, so kalau and then kita calculate dia punya total valence electron. Okay, nitrogen is located in group 15. That means nitrogen have 5 valence electron. Hydrogen 1 valence electron. However, we have 4 hydrogen. Going to multiply by 4. Okay, so tapi ini adalah ion, positive ion. So remember that a positive ion you need to minus electron. Okay, so since this is a positive one, so you need to minus 1 electron. Kalau positive 2, awak remove minus 2 electron. Kalau positive 3, awak minus 3 electron. So if you calculate, then the total valence electron is 8 valence electron. Okay, the total. Okay, nitrogen is the central atom, and then kita draw the terminal. Okay, and then after that, we need to draw a single bond between the terminal and also the central atom. Okay, so we need to draw a single bond. So how many electrons that we already used? Remember that one line represents 2 electrons. Since we already draw 4 lines, that means we already use 8 electrons. So dah tak ada dah elektron baki. Okay, so kita check dah octet belum setiap atom itu. Okay, hydrogen is duplet. So hydrogen this hydrogen is duplet, this hydrogen duplet. So hydrogen tu dah stable. Kita check for nitrogen pula. Nitrogen must achieve octet. So this nitrogen have 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons. So now the nitrogen also achieve octet. Okay, since this is an ion, okay, for ion you need to make sure that the Lewis structure need to be drawn in a bracket, and the charge must be right on the top right of the bracket. So this is the Lewis structure for NH4+. Okay, we try to do for NO3-. Okay, first, okay, kalau awak tengok, nitrogen is more electropositive. So the nitrogen will become the central atom. Okay, and then we calculate the total valence electron. Okay, nitrogen group 15, so nitrogen have 5 valence electron. Oxygen is group 16, that means oxygen have 6 valence electron. Okay, in NO3 minus, we have 3 oxygen, that means we need to multiply by 3. Minus, okay, negative charge or negative ion, that means we need to add electron. So, minus 1, that means we need to add 1 electron. Minus 2, that means we need to add 2 electron. Sebab apa? Sebab nak form negative ion, kita kena gain electron. Okay, so the total number of electron is 24 electron. Okay, kita tahu nitrogen is the central atom and then oxygen is the terminal atom. Okay, what you need to do right now is to draw a single bond between the terminal and central atom. Okay, since we already draw 3 single bonds, so that means we already use 6 electron. Okay, so 24 minus 6 is 18. So we have a remainder of 18 electrons. So the remainder we need to match octetkan terminal atom. So oxygen ini already have 2 electrons. So in order to achieve octet, we need to have another 6. So we draw 6 dots. 1, 6. 6 and then 6. Okay, then calculate the total number of electrons you already use. So we use 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So we already use 18 electrons. So we have 0 electron remain. Okay, so tapi kalau awak tengok, okay, since this an ion, okay, ion that means we need to draw in a square bracket and then ada dia punya charge. Okay, kalau awak tengok sini, this oxygen already achieve octet sebab dia ada 8 electron surrounding the atom. Same goes with the oxygen and same goes with this oxygen. However, the nitrogen ini baru ada 2, 4, 6 electron. So, dia masih belum octet. So, cara kita nak octetkan dia, we take a pair of lone pair daripada oxygen, kita pindahkan ke sini. Okay, kita pindahkan, so dia akan form double bond between the nitrogen and also the oxygen. So dia akan form double bond sebab oxygen tu dah bagi satu pair elektron, so tinggal 2 lone pair lah. So oxygen ni masih sama single bond, oxygen ni masih sama single bond. Okay, so kita check balik, dah octet belum? Okay, this oxygen have 2, 4, 6, 8 electron, octet. Same goes with this, same goes with this oxygen. And this nitrogen have 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons. So this nitrogen is already achieved octet. So maknanya this is the correct Lewis structure for NO3 minus. Okay, so now you already learn how to draw the Lewis structure of any covalent species. Okay, we need to learn how to determine whether the Lewis structure yang kita dah lukis itu stable ke tak. Okay, in order to determine whether the Lewis structure that we already draw itu stable atau tidak, kita kena kira dia punya formal charge. Okay, so kita kena kira dia punya formal charge. So by definition, okay, by definition the formal charge is the actual charge if the atom will have, if the bonding electron will share equally. Okay, so the actual charge if the atom will have, if the bonding electron will share equally. And in order to calculate the formal charge, kita ada formula. So the formal charge, okay, so the formal charge is equals to the number of the valence electron. So VE stands for valence electron minus the number of lone pair electron. So LP is the lone pair plus half bonding pair electron. So plus half bonding pair electron. Okay, so nak kira formal charge sama dengan valence electron minus lone pair plus half bonding pair electron. Okay, so awak hanya boleh kira formal charge after awak lukis Lewis structure sahaja. Itu syarat dia. Awak kena lukis dulu Lewis structure itu, baru awak boleh kira dia punya formal charge. Okay, so basically the sum of the formal charge of the atoms is equal to 0 for a neutral molecule. Okay, so for example, example of neutral molecule yang kita dah lukis tadi is NF3. So maknanya kalau kita kira formal charge for each atom, maknanya kalau kita kira formal charge nitrogen plus 3 times formal charge of the fluorine, awak mesti sama dengan 0. Kalau awak kira total mesti equal to 0 sebab NF3 is a neutral molecule. Okay, for a positive ion, the sum of the formal charge must equal to the value of the positive charge. So for example, NH4 plus. So kalau awak kira sum of formal charge nitrogen plus 4 times the formal charge of hydrogen, mesti awak akan dapat sama dengan positive one, which is sama dengan dia punya charge of the ion. Okay, same goes for a negative charge. So kalau awak ada NO3 minus, total formal charge nitrogen plus 3 times formal charge of oxygen tu mesti sama dengan negative 1, which is equal to dia punya charge of the ion. Okay, this is the basic concept for the formal charge. Okay, so we try to calculate the formal charge for NF3 first. Okay, kita dah lukis tadi Lewis structure untuk NF3. Okay, the Lewis structure for NF3 is like this. So N, F, F, F. So we have 1 lone pair nitrogen and 6 on the fluorine. Okay, so first we need to calculate the formal charge on the nitrogen. Okay, formal charge nitrogen equals to, okay, so nitrogen, tadi kita tahu formal charge is equal to valence electron minus lone pair plus half bonding pair electron. Okay, nitrogen, the valence electron for nitrogen is 5 because nitrogen is located in group 15. So 5 minus lone pair. So kalau awak tengok lone pair of nitrogen kita ada 2. So minus 2 plus half bonding pair. So nitrogen we have 2, 4, 6. So kalau kira 5 minus 2 plus 3 is 5 is equal to 0. So once as a good practice, okay, as a good practice, once you already calculate the formal charge, awak tulis formal charge tu dekat atom yang awak kira tu. So awak tulis 0 dekat situ. Okay. So and then we calculate the formal charge for fluorine. Okay. If you have the same element, okay, if you have the same element in the Lewis structure, kita labelkan dia. So we label as fluorine A, fluorine B and fluorine C supaya kita tahu yang mana dekat fluorine mana yang kita kira. Okay, if dia adalah elemen yang sama, okay, kalau dia adalah elemen sama, dia bond dekat elemen yang sama dan dia ada bonding yang sama, dia mesti ada formal charge yang sama. So kalau awak tengok, fluorine A single bond with nitrogen and have 6 lone pair. Fluorine C single bond with nitrogen and have 6 lone pair. Same goes with fluorine B. Ada single bond dengan nitrogen and have 6 lone pair electrons. Okay, so that mean, ingat kalau dia elemen yang sama, dia bond dengan elemen yang sama, dia ada bonding yang sama dan dia ada lone pair yang sama, maknanya formal charge mesti sama. So kita boleh simplifykan. So cara kita simplifykan, kita tulis dalam macam ni. Formal charge of fluorine A is equal to formal charge of fluorine B equals to formal charge of fluorine C. Kalau awak nak calculate satu-satu pun tak apa juga. Okay, tapi kita buat cara ringkas. So we calculate. So formal charge of valence electron for fluorine 7. Okay, lone pair dia ada 6 plus bonding pair dia 2. So equal to 0. So each of the fluorine, the formal charge is equal to 0. So macam saya kata tadi, if the molecule is a neutral molecule, the total formal charge must equals to 0. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is equals to 0. Okay, so we try to calculate the formal charge for NH4 plus. Okay, we try to calculate for NH4 plus. First, you need to draw the Lewis structure. So we need to draw the Lewis structure. And single bond H, single bond H, single bond H. Okay, ion, that means the ion must located in square bracket. Okay, so we calculate the formal charge for the nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen 5 valence electron. Okay, nitrogen does not have any lone pair for this structure. So the lone pair must equal to 0 plus half bonding pair. So the nitrogen, surrounding the nitrogen will have 4 bonds. So satu bond bersamaan dengan 2 electrons. So 4 bonds is equal to 8 electrons. So your formal charge for nitrogen is positive 1. So as a good practice, once awak dah kira formal charge, tulis dekat atom tu positive 1. Okay. Elemen yang sama, kita kena labelkan dia. Kita kena labelkan dia sebagai hydrogen A, hydrogen B, hydrogen C, hydrogen D. Elemen sama, bonding sama, the bond dengan elemen yang sama, that means the formal charge is also going to be the same. So that means the formal charge for hydrogen A is equal to formal charge of hydrogen B is equal to formal charge of hydrogen C equals to formal charge of hydrogen D. Okay, hydrogen valence electron 1. Okay, no lone pair. Bonding pair electron 2. So equals to 0. So remember that you need to write the Lewis structure on the atom. So, okay, so for a positive ion, so the total formal charge must equal to its charge. So that means 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 0 plus 1 equal to positive 1, which is equal to its charge of the ion. Okay, so we try to calculate for NO3 minus. So draw the Lewis structure first. NO3 minus, yang ni kita dah draw tadi. So sebab tu saya boleh terus lukis. Okay, remember the ion need to be drawn in a square bracket, and then don't forget to write down the charge on the top right of the bracket. Okay, so we calculate the formal charge for nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen 5 valence electron, lone pair 0 plus we have 4 bonds surrounding the nitrogen. Okay, we need to multiply by 8. So, sorry, this one should be minus. Okay, 5 minus 4 is equals to positive 1. So, the formal charge on the nitrogen is positive 1. Okay, we remember that elemen yang sama, kita kena labelkan dia A, B, C. Okay, so formal charge of oxygen B is equal to formal charge of oxygen C. Okay, tapi formal charge oxygen A tak sama. Sebab apa? Kalau awak tengok, oxygen A have different bond, ada double bond. While oxygen B and C only have single bond. So the formal charge will not be the same. So that's why lah formal charge B, oxygen B is equal to formal charge of oxygen A. So we calculate the formal charge. So oxygen, we know that the valence electron for oxygen is equal to 6. Minus the lone pair on oxygen B and C will have 6. Plus, okay, bonding pair is 2 electron. So 6 plus 1, 7. 6 minus 7 is minus 1. So for each oxygen B, the formal charge is minus 1. So, and then we calculate the formal charge for oxygen A. So, equal to 6. Okay, oxygen A have 4 lone pair electron plus 4 bonding pair electron. So, 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 equal to 0. So, this one, the formal charge is 0. So, if you calculate the total formal charge dia, awak akan dapat negative 1. So, which is equal to its charge of the ion. Okay, this is how you calculate the formal charge of the atom. And you can use the formal charge of the atom to determine which Lewis structure is possible. Because for a certain molecule, okay, it can possess more than one correct Lewis structure. Maknanya dia boleh possess more than one correct Lewis structure. Okay, so if it's if a several Lewis structure are possible, okay, the most plausible or the most stable Lewis structure, okay, has a zero formal charge. Maknanya each of the atom itu kalau boleh mesti ada formal charge sama 0. If in the Lewis structure each of the atom have formal charge equal to 0, that means the Lewis structure is the most plausible or the most stable Lewis structure. Ataupun kalau tak boleh semua tu sama dengan 0, have the lowest formal charge. Okay, have the lowest or the smaller formal charge. So we're going to take a look at the example. Or the most stable or the most plausible Lewis structure if the negative formal charge is located on the more electronegative atom. So kita akan tengoklah example dia sebentar lagi. Okay, so for example is CO2. Okay, CO2 have two Lewis structure yang betul. Sebab apa? Sebab apa cakap betul? Sebab kesemua atom tu adalah octet. Okay, so the first Lewis structure for CO2, okay, the first Lewis structure is C double bond O double bond O. Okay, this is the structure 1. Okay, for a structure 2, okay, for a structure 2, there is one triple bond with O and one single bond with O. So this is structure 2. So if you look at these two Lewis structure, kenapa saya cakap dia stable? Sebab each of the element in both Lewis structure have a stable octet electronic configuration. Okay, I have a stable octet. So awak tengok, this oxygen have 2, 4, 6, 8. This carbon have 2, 4, 6, 8. So octet. This oxygen also have 2, 4, 6, 8. So also octet. Okay, for a structure 2, oxygen ni pun octet sebab ada 8 electron surrounding the atom. This carbon also octet. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So still octet, and this oxygen also octet. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so macam mana nak tahu dia ada berapa possible Lewis structure? Awak gerakkan je bond between the central atom and terminal atom, but you maintain the octet. Awak gerakkan bond, jadikanlah dia double bond ke, triple bond ke, single bond. As long as the octet itu kita kira dia sebagai possible Lewis structure. Okay, so in order to determine which Lewis structure is the most plausible, you need to calculate the formal charge for each atom in the structure. Okay, kita calculate dia punya formal charge. So saya divide by 2. Okay, macam saya cakap tadi, elemen yang sama kita kena labelkan. So kita labelkan dulu. So this one oxygen A, oxygen B. This one oxygen A, oxygen B. Okay, first we calculate the formal charge for carbon. We calculate the formal charge for structure 1 dulu. Okay, the formal charge for carbon in structure 1, carbon valence electron the 4. If you look at the structure, this carbon does not have any lone pair. So the lone pair is equal to 0. Plus we have 8 electrons surrounding the carbon. So half multiplied by 8, so equals to 0. So macam saya ajar tadi, as a good practice, once you calculate the formal charge, awak kena tulis dia dekat dia punya atom. Okay, so same element bonded to the same element, have the same bonding, have the same number of valence electron. That means the formal charge will going to be the same. So the formal charge of oxygen A is equal to the formal charge of oxygen B. So oxygen A and B, okay, oxygen the valence electron is equal to 6. Lone pair dah ada 4. Sebab apa? 2, 4. Okay, bonding pair dia ada 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 equal to 0. Okay, so dah awak calculate ni, kita calculate yang structure tu pula. Okay, kita tulis structure tu. Formal charge carbon 4, 0, okay, half 8 equal to 0. So this one is equal to 0. Okay, formal charge A and B. Okay, formal charge A and B for structure 2 dia tak sama Sebab apa? Sebab bonding dia berbeza. So oxygen A dah hanya ada single bond. Okay, while oxygen B we have triple bond. So bonding tak sama. That means the formal charge will be different. Okay, so kita kena calculate secara separate. So the formal charge for oxygen A is equal to 6. Have 6 valence electron. Dari single bond, so 2. So 6 plus 1, 7. So this one equal to minus 1. Okay, this one minus 1. Okay, for oxygen B, okay, formal charge for oxygen B is 6. Okay, we have 2 lone pair. Plus ada 3 triple bond kan. So triple bond bersamaan dengan 6. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 6 minus 5 is positive 1. So this one is positive 1. So now you compare this two, the formal charge of these two Lewis structure. In structure 1, each of the atom have the formal charge of equal to 0. Okay, for structure 1. However, for a structure 2, only carbon sahaja yang ada formal charge 0. The formal charge for oxygen A is -1 and the formal charge for oxygen B is +1. So, lagi banyak formal charge 0 dalam atom itu lagi stable. Sebab kita tengok yang ni. So, has 0 formal charge. So, have a 0 formal charge, that means dia mesti yang dia lagi plausible structure. So, awak kena buat conclusion. Okay, awak kena buat conclusion. So, balik conclusion ni ada 1 markah. So, conclusion, structure 1 is the most plausible. Okay, it's the most plausible structure. Okay, semua plausible structure because each atoms have formal charge. Okay, have formal charge equal to 0. Okay, so awak tulis dia punya conclusion ini, awak akan dapat 1 markah. So normally the marks awak akan dapat markah dia dekat, awak lukis each possible structure ini, awak akan dapat 1 markah. Okay, normally. Okay, awak calculate semua formal charge ni dengan betul. Okay, awak dapat 1 markah, 1 markah. Awak buat conclusion ni dengan betul, awak dapat lagi 1 markah. This is selalunya lah macam ni pemarkahan dia. Okay, so this is example 1. Okay, we try to draw, okay, for example 2. Okay, example 2 we have NCO minus. Okay, we have NCO minus. So if you draw the Lewis structure of NCO minus, you're going to have 3 possible Lewis structure, dan kesemua tiga-tiga tu semua dia adalah octet. Okay, so kita lukis So the structure 1, we have N double bond C double bond O. Okay, remember the ion ni mesti ada negatif, mesti dalam bentuk square bracket, dan juga mesti ada dia punya charge. So this is structure 1. Okay, this is structure 1. So structure 2. Okay, ni ingat nak lukis possible Lewis structure tu, awak gerakkan je bond tu, as long as everything is octet, then that's fine. Okay, as long as everything is octet. So lagi satu possibility kita boleh buat, N kita triple bondkan dengan C, single bond dengan O. So N ni ada 2 lone pair sini, oksigen ni ada 3 lone pair elektron. Okay, so minus, so this is structure 2. Okay, structure 3 pula, tadi yang ini kita dah triple bondkan nitrogen. So sekarang kita try triple bondkan oksigen. So kita try. So this is structure 3. Okay, so dah draw all possible Lewis structure, we calculate the formal charge. So we calculate the formal charge. So kita formal charge structure 1, formal charge structure 2. Okay, so the formal charge, okay, for N, okay, N kita the valence electron for N is equals to 5. Okay, and this one we have 4 lone pair electron plus half bonding pair. Bonding pair dia ada 4. So bersamaan, so minus 1. Okay, so this one is minus 1. The formal charge is equal to minus 1. Okay, and then we calculate the oxygen pula. The carbon. So formal charge carbon 4. Okay, no lone pair, have 4 bond surrounding the carbon. So the bonding pair is equal to 8 electron, which is equal to 0. Okay, this one 0. Okay, calculate for the oxygen pula. So formal charge oxygen, the valence electron is equal to 6. Okay, ada 4 lone pair electron, tambah bonding pair dia ada 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6, so equal to 0. So this one, the formal charge is equal to 0. Okay, so dah calculate formal charge for structure 1, we do the same for structure 2 pula. So calculate formal charge for nitrogen. Okay, 5 minus 2 plus half 6. Sebab apa 6? Sebab awak tengok nitrogen ni kita ada 3. Kita ada triple bond. Kalau ada triple bond, maknanya dia adalah ada 6 bonding pair electron. Okay, so 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 minus 5 equal to 0. So this one, the formal charge nitrogen is 0. Formal charge carbon pun akan jadi 0 lah. So kalau awak kira, awak akan dapat 0. Formal charge carbon 0. Okay, kita try pula calculate formal charge for the oxygen. Okay, we try to calculate formal charge of the oxygen. So oxygen, okay, formal charge for the oxygen, okay, 6 minus 6 plus half 2, so equals to minus 1. So this one is minus 1. Okay, so we do the same for structure 3. Okay, kita buat benda sama untuk structure 3. So formal charge nitrogen is equals to 5. 6 plus half 2, so minus 2. So this one minus 2. Okay, and then formal charge for carbon. Okay, formal charge for carbon is 4 minus 0 plus half 8 equal to 0. So this one 0 for oxygen. Okay, so 6. Oxygen is 6. Lone pair dia 2 tambah bonding pair dia 6. So 3, 5 sama dengan positif 1. So this one is positive 1. So once kita dah calculate semua formal charge for each Lewis structure, okay, kita tengok yang mana lagi stable. Okay, kalau awak tengok structure 3 ni, okay, structure 3 ni automatic kita reject. Okay, automatic kita reject. Sebab apa saya reject? Sebab awak tengok dia ada formal charge yang tinggi value dia. Negative 2. Okay, so sekarang ni kita hanya perlu compare formal charge structure 1 and formal charge structure 2. Okay, structure 1, formal charge dia ada 2 0. Okay, formal charge structure 2 juga ada 2 0. Okay, so dah sama. So yang mana satu lagi stabil, kita tengok pula yang negative formal charge. Okay, the negative formal charge for structure 1 is located on the nitrogen. The negative formal charge in structure 2 is located on the oxygen. Okay, so nak tahu yang mana lagi stabil, we need to look at the negative formal charge, the location. Okay, if the negative formal charge is located on the more electronegative atom, that means itu adalah yang paling stable. So nitrogen and oxygen, okay, nitrogen and oxygen both are located in the same period 2. Nitrogen group 15, oxygen group 16. Okay, across period, electronegative akan increase. So that means oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen. So kalau awak tengok structure 2, the negative formal charge is located on the oxygen, which is the more electronegative atom. So that's why lah structure 2 is the most plausible structure. So kita buat conclusion sikit. So kita buat conclusion. Structure 2, okay, structure 2 is the most plausible Lewis structure. Okay, most plausible Lewis structure. Reason dia because the negative one formal charge is located on the more electronegative atom, okay, which is oxygen. So awak buat conclusion ni, awak kena lagi satu markah. Okay, so I think that's all for this lesson. Okay, so thank you everyone. So for the next lesson, which is lesson 3, we're going to learn about the exception to octet rule and also the resonance structure. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So thank you everyone. Okay, see you in the next lesson.